book tour event in partnership with Women Love Consulting. My name is Gail Watson, founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association and WSA Publishing, a place that is dedicated to sharing and promoting the gifted messages of women in over 120 countries. This tour is traveling the world, and today we shine the spotlight on inspiring women who are transforming the lives of those around them through loving dedication and compassion. I have the proud honor of introducing to you today these 5 women who are international best-selling authors and part of Voices of the 21st Century, conscious, caring women who make a difference. We want to dive right in, get to know these amazing women. And let's start off with our title sponsor for today, Women Love Consulting. We have the amazing Inez Caps, who talks about how a haircut made a difference in her consulting career. So, Inez, please share with us what inspired you to share your story.
Thank you, Gail, and thank you so much for allowing me to, sponsor this event. The passion for me to share this story is really, I want to make management consulting diverse and fun, and this was a pivot in situation for me, and also the founding story of Women Love Consulting.
That's awesome. I mean, we are on a global virtual book tour right now. So, what we'd love to hear is a piece of your story. If you could please read us a section that you want to share.
I would love to, so thank you so much. We don't think a tiny person like you will be able to handle our engineering people on this project. I was speechless. I felt like someone had kicked me in my stomach and taken away my breath. I put down the phone and sat on the floor. My stomach was turning, I felt sick, and I began to cry in disbelief. After the hundreds of conversations I had with engineering managers around the world, such as site managers on power plants in Pakistan, this man really thought I was not capable of dealing with their engineering managers. They are tough guys, I admit, and you don't want to waffle and waste their time or yours. But if you dress people respectfully and prepared, they will work with you. I was in my early 40s with 15 years of management consulting under my belt. Yet there I was sitting on the floor of my living room in Switzerland, devastated. 6 months earlier, I had received a reference letter with C-level quotes from an amazing client. This was a global engineering company with 14,000 employees headquartered in Germany and Denmark. Over the course of 3 years, I had led a global rollout of $10 million project interacting with engineering managers around the world. Yes, I had to discuss whether I had discussions where I had to prove myself as a woman. Overall, though, my gender had never been an issue. I loved the experience and the feedback I received from my client. You are an exceptionally professional communicator. This left me speechless, but with a massive smile on my face. So, what had happened?
What had happened? We got to read that story to find out what has happened. Thank you so much, Inez. I know that that's a story that's relatable to many women who have been in that corporate arena, just simply being judged by their outward appearance. So I want to really thank you for sharing that. So, what are people following the tour right now? What you need to know is each individual author that we're sharing with you today have their own custom copy with their names on the book. So you can get your autographed copy. So first we're going to start with Inez and say, how can we get a copy of your book and get an autographed, personal autographed version for us ourselves?
Well, the best way is to find me on LinkedIn under Inez Cups or on my website. It's one word, womenloveconsulting.com, and you can contact me there.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next amazing women. We're going to introduce you to best-selling author Sandiford Carr from Bermuda, who talks about, hey, failure is not an option and finding my purpose. So, Sandra, please share with us what inspired you to share your story.
Thank you so much, Gail, and thank you so much, Inez, for inviting me. Actually, I am from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
Yes,
Trinidad and Tomato.
yes. It's mixing me up with you, yes. So, failure is not an option. I am passionate about empowering others, and I want women to realize that it doesn't matter where you start and what you start with. It's what you do with what you have and how it ends. So every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow and become better. So I just want to be a voice for women
Mm.
who maybe have been knocked down so many times and know that they can always get up and start again.
Love that. Very inspiring. And perhaps if you would be willing to share a piece of your story.
Yes, I would. In 2019, just before COVID 19 heralded its arrival, I launched my NGO, Women in Security Enterprises, WISE. My dream had always been to give back and to help others to be a voice. For those who could not speak for themselves, to share my experiences and to be a role model and coach and mentor to others in similar situations. It does not matter where you start, even if you are at the bottom. It's where you finish that's important. We all have our own journeys in life. No two journeys are the same. Every obstacle in your path is there for a reason to stretch you, help you to grow, develop those areas in your life that are weak, make you a better person, and guide you to your purpose. Your purpose will always involve service to others. It is never only about you and your dreams. Yes, it may bring wealth, power, and recognition, but it is always for the good of others and not just for yourself. In service to others, failure is not an option.
Inspiring, Sandra. Thank you so much. It is all about service to others and the difference that we can make by doing that. So, Sandra, how can we get a personalized autograph copy of your book?
Right, so my name, and I know it's a long name, Sandra Sandiford Carr, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and of course on LinkedIn. So you just put in my name, um, and you will be able to access um, me, and I'll be able to give you all the information as to how you can get your personalized copy.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, let's bring up to center stage Dr. Michelle St. Jane, and she's from Bermuda. um, she shares a phenomenal journey, and she describes it as the coal miner canary to a living legend, which she is. So please welcome Dr. Michelle St. Jane. Please share with us, Michelle, what
Thank
inspired you
you.
to share this story.
It's such a privilege to be here with my sister authors. My chapter is about speaking truth to power like a lady. Be inspired on your conscious journey of life and leadership. You can purposefully lead footprints in the digital sands as you lean into the legend that you are evolving into.
Love that. And you know what? We'd love to dive into your story a little more. And would you please read us an excerpt that you'd like to share?
I would be honored to. For me, it set me on my journey of recognizing the opportunity to be part of wisdom transference. So here is an excerpt. My grandmother came racing over and enveloped me in a hug. The first impression I had was the way her indestructible spirit sprang forward as she wrapped her arms around me. I felt our souls touch. The magic and the depth of that connection has contributed to my sense of well being over the decades ever since. I treasure that first moment. Her world was full of demands, yet I sense the warmth of a very busy wife, mother, and grandmother who showed up in the multiple versions of herself.
Very nice. And I love that you received that message from your grandmother and share it with the world. Um, and how do we get our personalized copy from you, a living legend? Um, to that we can, where can we get your copy of the book?
Reach out to me on LinkedIn
Mhm.
under my name. I'll look forward to connecting with you and, yeah, sharing some wisdom. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so reaching out to you on LinkedIn, Dr. Michelle St. Jane. Okay, these women are so awesome. And we have a great woman, JJ Stenhouse from Scotland, generating gold in the crucible of ill health. JJ, a powerful message. What inspired you to share it?
Well, it's what I've done. This is an biographical story, and I'm passionate about showing people how to reach optimum well-being through the power of nature, through the power of themselves and nature, in hand with nature. So that is what drives me, and that's what my chapter's about, what my contribution is about.
Yeah, you definitely share a lot of gold in your story. So could you share a little piece of that gold with us right now?
I'd love to, thank you. And I'll take it on from where I realized that in my 20s, the medical world wasn't really helping me in any way. So, as I distanced myself from the modern medical profession, I learned how not to give my power away when it came to my health. I learned that the best person to know what's going on in my body is me. Over the years, I also learned that well-being is all to do with frequency. I came to understand how pharmaceuticals lowered my frequency and kept my system out of balance, which then manifested in depression and illness. The drugs suppressed my vitality, made it harder for my frequency to find its expression. Clearing my system and aligning with nature were far more effective and less invasive. The more I cleared and followed an organic, natural path to well-being, the stronger, more connected, and more powerful I became. I'd become an alchemist, living a process of transmutation to access the gold deep within me, clearing away what was leaden and heavy to embody a higher vibration. Energy, high frequency, that's where we find the gold. When we take responsibility and purify our lives, our bodies can heal. They can come into balance, not just on the physical, but also on the mental, emotional, and spiritual levels.
Beautiful. I know we can all benefit from that. So how can we get an autographed copy of your book to find more of that gold?
Well, you can very simply go along to my website, which is jjsalchemy.com. That's jjsalchemy.com, and you'll find the details there and a link where you can order a copy.
Thank you so much. All right, now moving on to the great and amazing Michaela Quilici from Holland, who shares her story about stop tolerating and start creating. Michaela, what inspired you to share your story?
Thank you for asking, Gail. So, it's all too easy to let our business and our life happen by default. It happens to the best of us. We get swept along by different circumstances, and sometimes we can become reactionary rather than intentional. And so my chapter is really about cultivating the courage to stop tolerating the life you have and really start creating the life you want. Because I feel like there's no joy in finding ourselves in a place where we're tolerating things and not living. And only when we're really present enough to heal the call, heed the call, do we really feel joy in those infinite possibilities of a new beginning that brings maybe us one step closer to our true self. So the practices and prompts in the book help the reader gain some access to finding more and feeling more of that joy.
Mm, awesome. And well, why don't you please share a piece of your story?
Thank you. If I had accepted my fate as a child who had developed a speech impediment, precipitating a fear of speaking, a lack of self worth, and no self confidence, I'd be living with my parents on disability with no job. If I had accepted my string of emotionally abusive and dysfunctional relationships, I would have been sentenced to a life of disempowerment, devoid of real love and true connection. If I had remained an employee with a 9 to 5 as a woman on a journey of self discovery and awakening to her authentic self, I would have been a prisoner of a system to which I no longer related. And if I had remained living in my birth country because it was easy and simple, my spirit would have died. These are only a few examples, but the reality is that every difficult choice that I've made over the last 4 decades has rebirthed me into a more empowered and self actualized version of myself. Each moment, I make the decision not to tolerate the way things are and to create and manifest my own destiny. I am reborn anew.
Oh, beautiful, strong, powerful life lesson there. And you definitely have transformed into such an amazing person and businesswoman. I want to thank you for sharing your gifts with us. So, how do we get a copy of your book?
Thank you. You can get a copy of my book by going to my website, michaelaquilici.com. The URL is here. No, this side on the screen. And you can get in touch with me there. Thank you.
That's so awesome. So, I hope everybody's enjoying meeting these wonderful women who are definitely, you can hear the powerful stories that they're sharing, and they have so much wisdom in them. I would love to go around right now and maybe do a round robin where we can hear from each of you and conclude today's virtual book tour event with some your final words of wisdom. And we will start again with you, Inez.
Thank you so much. So let's say my words of wisdom. I have created these stories or the learning out of my story with around 3 C's. It's clarity, courage, and confidence. And I think when you're clear what your values are, you're confident what you bring into onto the table in a project in life, and then you have the courage to speak up for yourself. I think that's where you really, yeah, can benefit and live the life that that you really want to live.
Beautiful. And Sandra?
I must quote you, Gail, because your forward, in the book, a defining moment in history. Nobody knows what the future holds, but in the present, we have to live in the present. And your purpose, because everybody has a purpose. Nobody's here by chance. Everybody has a reason for being. And your most important journey in life is to discover your purpose and walk in it. Then you are powerful, then you are free, then you are happy, then you are fulfilled. And you can help others discover their purpose. The future is female. We we are at that defining moment in history.
We absolutely are. Thank you for that. Next to our living legend, Dr. Michelle St. Jane.
Let's lean into new possibilities, either big or small, at any age, at any stage. Be inspired by these wonderful women authors who have all used a book as a way of showing how they make a difference in the world. I say to you that the time has come to let ourselves, as women, be seen as we grow into living legends, vivid visionaries that invest our time, our talent, and treasure into a world that holds promise for the current and future generations, be it as an author, a speaker, or in the way that you choose to show up and serve.
Wonderful. Oh, this is so great. Okay, JJ Stenhouse.
Yeah, I just want to remind people that we are nature. We are part of nature. And so, therefore, the best answers for our well being can be found in nature, not outside of it. So, trust nature and trust yourself on your path to well being, because nature won't let you down.
Thank you so much for that. And Michaela Quilici.
Leading with courage and growing with intention is an inside job, as we've heard here today, and it's being echoed through the messages of the wisdom of the authors. You already have all of the instructions within you. You're being called forward really now to clear the mind chatter and the outside noise and to really come back home to yourself so that you can hear your own guidance coming from within. So I encourage you to listen to the silence because it speaks and it's aching to be heard. Are you listening?
Mm, how wonderful. I hope everyone watching this and part of this tour today hear the hearts, the truth, the wisdom that come from each one of these women. They have stepped up, stepped into their message, and share it with you directly to simply inspire or help transform something special in your life and to give of the gift that they have received from their own personal journeys. And I want to encourage you to connect with each individual author. Look them up on LinkedIn. You have your name there. Reach out to them and to get your and to receive a copy, a personal autograph copy from each one. And these books are not only good to have on your own library shelf, but also to gift to another woman in your life or others. Each one of these women here are speakers. If you know of any groups that you would like to invite them to have personal readings, go deeper in and have them connect with your group to interview and share stories with, please reach out to them. They are 100% open to that. I'd like to thank all of you ladies who joined us today and for sharing your story. You're all amazing and you inspire us so much. And I want to thank all the viewers today who are joining us on this virtual book tour event. And thank you to Women Love Consulting for organizing today. Thank you, Inez. Make sure you support these lovely ladies and order your copy of a book right now. And we look forward to connecting with you again as we continue traveling the globe in and sharing with you voices of the 21st century virtual book tour event. Thank you, everyone.